like about talking to you today is that you represent reason and well thought out opinions. And those two things are very rare. Well thought out opinions are way more rare, in my opinion, than what you usually get. What you usually get is a conglomeration of opinions that seem to make sense peripherally or casually. They have a veneer of logic to them. You're like, I'll go with that because I don't have the time. Because most people don't have the time.
Well, going back to Israel, I know are we wrapping up?
No.
Going back to Israel for 1 second, it's become like a pillar, right? It's like, okay, if you're on the left, I believe in, criminal justice reform, like any number of things. Oh, and by the way, Israel's bad. Like it became one of those things that most people don't really think about.
Right.
And like, I think it's really important to think about things issue by issue and not just be like, yep, signing up for this whole slew of policies and views on things when actually some of those things don't go together at all.
Well, one thing in the woke left you're not allowed to do is criticize the more repressive aspects of Islam. You're not allowed to. You don't do it. If you bring up anything, it becomes Islamophobic, and even if it's homophobic thought, if the ideas are homophobic, or if women have to wear restrictive clothing, any of the things that are incredibly commonplace, you are not allowed to criticize those because those fall into a protected category.
I remember when I first ran into this in college when we were talking, I was in a conversation with other feminists, and I definitely consider myself a feminist, about female genital mutilation. And I encountered for the first time a species that I've come to know well, which is feminists who sort of defend female genital mutilation on the grounds of cultural relativism. Who are we to judge? And I remember just like, I did not get over the shock of that.
You shouldn't get over the shock
I'm
of
not.
that. That is fucking terrifying. I mean, that is, look, I'm a outspoken, rabid critic of circumcision. I think it's disgusting. I think it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But at least your dick still works. The idea that someone tried to equate circumcision and female genital mutilation, a person on the left did when I talked about it recently.
Who?
Some fucking asshole online. I don't remember who it was, but
Wow.
I didn't even exchange. I read it and I went, their vagina doesn't work the same way anymore. Do you understand that you can't have an orgasm anymore?
Exactly.
You're cutting off a woman's clitoris to not because of cleanliness or any fucking weird logic that they're using today to try to justify circumcision. Way worse. You're doing it to try to eliminate pleasure because you don't want the woman to leave. It's the same reason why you want to cover her up with some crazy garb that doesn't show her skin.
Why aren't we hearing the leaders of the women's march talk about, say, I don't know, honor killings, female genital mutilation,
restrictive clothing,
forced marriage for
right.
girls,
children? Yeah.
No, instead they're talking about BDS in Israel. I don't get it. I'd love to ask someone about that.